What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon. I'm back at you, another one. Usual Suspects podcast for House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon. Season 2, Episode 3. We're going to get into it and everything else. Hopefully my people's come. I sent them the links and stuff, so hopefully they'll be here as soon as possible because there's a problem, man. I had a problem, man. Unfortunately, the issue that arose. That how I did not pick up on this problem before it happened, it's very weird to me. I'm usually very alert about things, and I probably should have been. But for some reason, I did this and did not realize that I did this. And now I have to figure out something to take care of this. And I'm going to need people to come on here and give me a relief for a second. Now, I'll show you exactly why what I'm talking about with this whole situation. It's this situation like this. So as you can see, the Don Tony Teflon, you know, I use a green screen, but for some reason, the Don decided to put on a green shirt. So I don't understand what I was thinking when I did it. I know I used the green screen. And I looked at the shirt and I put the shirt on and I said, I don't think I've ever worn this shirt before. Now I know why I didn't wear it before. God damn it. What the hell's going on here? I know what's going on. So I gotta change my shirt, man. I gotta change my shirt and shit, you know. So I'm gonna need like Philip Bridges to come over here and hold this down while I change my shirt and everything else. You know what I'm saying? You know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what I mean. It would make a nice polo, Iron Throne style polo, and everything else. As you say, you know, I think it would look nice and everything. But you know what I mean. But I'm gonna have to change this shirt. So hopefully one of these cats will come on here soon. As soon as they do, then I will get off. I will change my shirt, and then I'll come right back on, and everything else. All right, that's what I do. But before we get into it, before we get into it. All right, we got my man, Bridge is in the building. Phil, I'm sure will be here. I'm sure he's got something to do real quick. I'm sure he'll be here. I mean, I know what's up. Bridge, ready to go? Yes? No? Thumbs up? All right, let's bring in Bridge for.
I don't know, though. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Let me see. I got to put you on this right here. There you go. I can't hear you. What's going on, Bridge?
Doing well. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Everything has been good except for this whole shirt situation. I got to change the shirt, man.
I wasn't about to come on, but then I was watching your stream in 2x speed while I'm doing some stuff, and then you're like, I need someone to come on so I can go change my shirt.
Yeah, man.
Are you? Wait a second. You're wearing green?
Yeah, I have a green shirt on, man.
See, they were right in the chat last week. They said they know you're team green.
Is that maybe that is what it is. I grabbed the shirt and I was like, I don't think I've ever worn this one before. Let me throw this on real quick. Yeah. And then I did it, and then I got on here and I was like, wait a second, there's a problem. I was like, oh man, God.
That is so funny. In your green screen settings, you could probably change the color from green to something else, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a green screen behind you, though.
Green screen behind me, so I have to. We got super chat. Thank you so much for having. He says, leave the shirt on. I ain't gonna take it off for you, man. You know, I'll leave it on. But I'm a Bridge, can you hold it down while I do this?
Sure. I don't know what to do. I'll just talk to the people in the chat. It is funny though, real quick. You've got a polo shirt on, right?
Yes.
So you got the polo, like the horse flying around there in space. I like that.
It's flying. The horse is just trotting all over the place. All right, I will be right back. Alicia is going to join us. She'll be here in a second. All right.
She's going to join the stream. Nice.
Yeah. All right. I'll be right back, Bridge.
Fair enough. Okay. I'm just going to read the chat, guys. Sorry. I don't do this. I don't stream, so I'm just holding it down while he's changing his shirt. I'm starting up here at Mrs. Duncan the Tall. Let's go. Bridge Runner, Bridge Burner. That's right. I don't know if any of you guys know of it. There's a book series called Malazan, Book of the Fallen. There's a team called the Bridge Burners in it. So I used to be a bridge runner from Stormlight Archive. Now I'm a bridge burner. Okay, Rishi Patel, what's happening? Oh, sorry, guys. He has the master control, so I can't highlight your comments and bring them on screen. We got Sonic, your boy, says John Maker. The Imagination Realms in the house. Hey, Mrs. Duncan the Tall. Marcus Jones, of course. B. Lion, Khaleesi Clues, Carla Way. All of our friends are here. Hyper Nuts ZTV. Leave the shirt on. I think you just, it's on screen actually. All right, give me something, guys. Ask a question or something because I don't know what to do here. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. John Haymaker in the house. Oh, John Haymaker, correct me if I'm wrong. You've got the Blackfire sigil. So basically, you're a traitor to the realm because, you know what I mean? It is a cool sigil, though, even though I don't like the color red. Bridge be burning. Hypernuts TV. I don't stream. Go easy on me. It's my first time. Yeah, I mean, I have done streams, but they haven't been very good. So
see, I'm enjoying listening to you, but
what's up, Phil?
I figured I'd
yeah,
pop
finally.
you. You were saving Tony, and I heard you. And you're like, I don't stream. So
I'm like, I need help. Thank you, Phil.
Get on here and help me. So I was still setting up too. So I decided to come on and save you.
See, this is what the friends do. Like, I was like, I'm not ready to come on, but I came on because I love Tone, and you came on because you love me.
Totally. I heard you, and not that I'm going to be much better right now. The bridge is over, Sir Teflon Hightower. I also think Tony should have kept the shirt on. Someone said it looked like Pee-wee's Playhouse with Cherry, or the. It did. It looked cool. I mean, he could have probably wore that and just been a disembodied floating head, but you know.
See, you're a music guy. I don't know if you're big into hip hop. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. What is that? Is that Wu-Tang or was it Jay-Z?
I'm not sure.
There is a song that they're quoting there. The bridge is over.
The usual suspect. How lame was episode 2's Ryan. So how do you think Crispy will rub Eamon's mummy's issues in his, so do you think Crispy will rub Eamon's mummy's issues in his face? Nice. I don't know about that. I think it would more likely be the other way around, Bridge. I think more likely Eamon will rub Allison and Crispy's issues in Crispy's face. I don't know about that.
Can you repeat the question? I was Googling it like someone said in the chat. It's Boogie Down Production.
Do you think that Crispy will rub Eamon's mummy issues in his face? Kristen Cole will rub that Eamon has mummy issues in his face.
Does Kristen know that Eamon has mummy issues? Because, you know, that's sort of what he's doing on the down low with that mistress. Does she have a name, by the way? Did you look that up? I didn't. I didn't really care to.
I did.
I wonder if she's a named character. I'm going to look that up now. Mistress.
I'll jump back in the chat. We got Mandrell in the live chat. Great to see you. We got B Lion who says, will Aegon find out his mother is being fucked by the Hand? I think Aegon will find out a lot of information because I think the Clubfoot will disclose that to sort of add light fire to the whole situation due to jealousy. So I do think that he will try to, that Laris will try to mess with the situation a little bit.
You think, sorry, the situation with Kristen and Allison?
Or just Allison in general. B Lion asked, will Aegon find out his mother's being fucked by the Hand?
Oh.
All right, just do it on this. This is quick. Sorry about that. Sorry.
There
what
you
up,
go.
Tony's back. I'll be right back.
Nice shirt. I was struggling, so Phil came on to rescue me. Nice shirt.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I'm in the house right now. What up? We'll say what up to people in the building real quick. Call away in the building. What's up to you? Miss T is up in this building. What's up to you? Marcus Jones is up in here. John Haymaker's up in here. My man JD the Dragon is in here. My man Mandrell. Where you been, Mandrell? He's up in the building. I said Linda Arlissay again because I haven't seen her in a while. Sonic Boy is up in here. Imaginary Realm is up in here. Big Bank is up in here. Miss Duncan the Tall is up in here. We have a whole bunch of people. That say John Haymaker. Let's say John. If I didn't, we won't say it again. He deserves for it to be taught. Phil left his camera on. I don't know if he meant to do that. So I'm going to. I was going to pull you off just in case you didn't mean to do that.
Oh, I didn't realize I was muted. I'm here.
Mikey P is in the building rocking with us right now. Spitfires Media is in the building rocking with us. Thank you for rocking with you. Shorty Pooh 80 is up in here and everything else and all that good stuff. Drop 23 is up in here. All right, let's talk real quick, Bridge. You've seen the episode. I've seen the episode. What did you think about it?
I mean, as I always say, I was voted most easily amused in high school. Of course, I love this. It's top class television. Was it the most exciting episode? No, but I guess one of my major takeaways, like I said, I watch the trailers now, but I'm only watching them like at the end of the episode tonight. I'll watch the upcoming preview, and that's it. I'm not like overanalyzing it. I'm not watching a second time. So basically, it's in my head. It's in one ear, out the other, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I don't remember what's in the trailers, whatever. So coming into this prior episode, I kind of expected a lot of things to happen that didn't happen. They're probably going to happen in this one tonight, maybe even tomorrow, because I was visualizing a much faster paced show. I like the fact that they've slowed it down. Like there has to be that reaction on both sides to what happened with Blood and Cheese. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the show so far.
Yeah, you know when they said that they took out 2 episodes, made it 8 because they didn't want any filler episodes.
What do you mean by they took out 2 episodes? They originally
Instead
filmed
of-
them, or they just
instead of doing 10 episodes,
yeah.
they got it down to 8 episodes.
But they didn't like cut stuff out after the fact. They just had a
Well,
plan, and it
I
came out to
think
be an
they
8
did.
episode plan.
I don't know if they cut stuff out, but they specifically said that they did it so that they would be a no filler episode. So every episode is supposed to be something. You know, if you put in 10, I guess they figured out of the 10, 2 of the episodes, they have two episodes full of fillers. Yeah. And they didn't want that. So they wanted this to have the straight fire episodes and everything. So they moved it down to 8 episodes, which, you know, listen, we're almost halfway through the season already. It goes so fast and everything. All right, Phil, what did you think of the episode? You got to unmute yourself.
I thought it was a cool episode for texture to kind of like see, as Bridge was saying, the reaction for everything that happened, Blood and Cheese. I thought the intensity in the beginning of the episode, like the music that brought in was really eerie, and I thought it did a good job at sort of picking up that early Game of Thrones, like smaller vibe kind of thing throughout the entire episode. And I just really enjoyed all the conversations, all the one-on-one dynamics. That being said, Tony, I'm a little whiny Veruca Salt. I want it more. I want it now. I want 10 episodes. And this is an episode that screams of perfect in a season that has 10 episodes. The fact that we're almost halfway through the season right now, I'm just like, oh, I just want more. And I think, I don't know if that's me being a whiny, needy television watcher, that I come from the era where I watched Star Trek and there were 26 episode seasons or 20 plus episode seasons. And then I had to get used to 13. Then I had to get used to 10. And now they're like, you get 10. And now we're going to get 3 or 4. You get what you get. You don't get upset. There's got to be a line, Tony. We do the 10 episodes is a good number. But that being said, I thought it was a good episode. It's just, I'm too conscious about running out of time right now.
Yeah, I won't remember this episode, right? When this episode is over, it's done in the season and the juxta the whole season. I'm not going to remember this episode. It was just there. It did some things I did like, some things I didn't like. Hypernuts, thank you for the super chat. Truly appreciate you guys thinking the show when Eamon told the hooker not here. She was seeing if he wanted to nurse. Did it look like that to you, that he wanted to suck a titty?
I don't know if that's a serious question. Either way, that's a funny question. No, I think they were talking about like hopping on the good foot and doing the bad thing, and he just doesn't want to do it there.
He's so skinny, bro. Did you realize?
I didn't realize that.
Did you see that? Did that stand out?
It jumped out right away. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, he's a really good character in the Last Kingdom, and he's a skinny dude. So I guess I should have known. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I didn't think he'd be skinny like that.
He's super
skinny. Like his legs is tiny. Son. If my legs were that tiny, I wouldn't show them. I would never wear shorts.
Chicken legs.
Yeah, it was. He was skinny boy in there. I would say also, you know, dealing with the whole Blood and Cheese situation. We know in the books this guy got tortured for weeks. Correct? If I remember correct, he got beat down for weeks. You know, and he gave it up in an instant. And there was no torture involved. He just seen the tools and was like, here you go, here you go. This is what happened. This is what it is. I'm going back to that, but I just didn't like that. I wanted to see this man really get, not that I'm sadistic or anything, but book relevant. I wanted to see him get beat down a little bit more, some torture. You know what I mean? Just to show a little bit of, I would say, you know, I don't want to say cruelty, but you know, just to show, you know, what he was willing to do, you know, what he's willing to do for the guy who killed, you know, his son. Just one mace to the face to me just wasn't enough. Because you killed my kids, you ain't, and I have the chance to do you like that, it ain't gonna be quick.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you were talking about that a little bit last week, Tony. You were hoping for Goodfellas casino like scene.
Yes.
Like something bad happened in the Joe Pesci kind of scene. Mm-hmm. That's what you were talking about that specifically. I was actually thinking about that instead of cutting away. Maybe that did happen, but it was a choice to kind of cut away from it, and we just cut it away on the one bang. I'm sure he hit him several times, but that could have been something that you kind of you check in on him throughout the season, like Varys's guy in the box, or Cersei with the shame shamers. It's you could just kind of see that be something that he continues to torture this guy a long way. I'm not also bloodthirsty, but I kind of was drinking the Kool-Aid that you were pouring last week. I'm like, yeah, I want to see this guy. You know, I want to see a Billy Bat situation happen here.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. The way that he killed him, that resonated with me. Like that's how I would envision me. It's just I could not control myself. It wouldn't be a torture thing. It'd be like, you're gonna die as soon as I can kill you. You're dead. Yeah,
like that.
And I loved how he didn't even say a single word. Like I was like, oh, that spoke. Ironically, that spoke to me that he didn't even say a word. He just went in there.
If you would have hurt my kid like that, and I had the opportunity, say I was a king or something like that. And it was legal for me to do, right? Not. I will take you, string you up, and you will beg for me to kill you. Like you're gonna want me to kill you because that's how bad I'm gonna break every bone in your body, starting at your feet, and you're just gonna want me to kill you. And the end, you're just gonna be begging, please kill me, please, because I'm going to hurt you so bad. You know what I mean? Yeah, we seen as Peter said, we seen Ramsay do worse to Theon than this guy got. In all honesty, we seen Jon Snow beat up Theon. That would seem worse than this, you know what I mean, and everything. And even when we talk about Ramsay, when he got it, even the dog eating was worse than this. And I could say that this guy is worse than all of them. He did it to a king. So you would think, I mean, when we hear about these kings in Westeros, and we hear about like the things they're willing to do, set somebody on fire while they're in the armor, while having a strangling device, strangle the guy when he's trying to get to the thing. You hear these things, and I'm saying, George, I'm not just making this stuff. This is George R. R. Martin. He put that in. He's like, they tortured these dudes for weeks. This guy seen the tools and gave it up as quick as he could. He didn't even have to touch him with it. He just opened up the thing. I don't know if you ever seen a show called The Lioness. Really good show. Mm-hmm. It's like a special ops show and everything else. This chick, they tortured her.
Halle Berry?
No, she looks like Halle Berry.
Oh,
but it's not her. But it's the girl the black chick who played in the Westworld.
Oh no, it's my girl. It's my number one girl in the world. Zoe Saldana. Yeah.
Look at her, it's her show.
Sandy Newton. Is that it?
No, Zoe. I mean, she's hot too, but Zoe Saldana.
Oh, I thought you said
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I thought you said from Westworld.
Oh yeah, you did say Westworld. It's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, he's Westworld. She's in both.
Oh, we're talking about the girl. I thought
the black chick. The black chick.
The lioness. That's Thandaway Newton is in, or Tandy Newton is in Westworld.
All right, yeah, the black chick, the black one.
I
think she's in there. But that one, like chicks is getting waterboarded and things like that. You know what I mean? And all this, that seemed more devastating to me than what happened to this character in there, especially for killing a king's son. I would just think it'd be worse than one mace to the face. You know what I mean? I think Ned Stark got it worse with the beheading than this guy got it, and I would assume that he would have got it worse. Now we've seen the whole political. They did do a little political intrigue where Otto Hightower was saying, "Listen, we're going to use this for a different time. We're going to use this to our advantage and everything else." And I think he was doing a good move as hand to the king. What did you think about Otto's strategy to get the people to rally on their side with the whole funeral progression?
I mean, he's a political mastermind. I feel like, when we talk about like who would be a good king, I don't like Otto as a human, as a person. I feel like he would make a really good king, a really effective king. And actually, real quick, while we're on Otto, I love that one line where he was talking to Aegon, and he's like, and talking about how he's like, my father's dead, and he's like, and the realm is worse off for it. Like the dude, he didn't respect Viserys in certain ways. He knew Viserys was weak, whatever. He was almost like the perfect hand for Viserys in a way. But he did love Viserys, so I like that.
Yeah, and to your point, Bridge, about Otto, he's very, what's the word, dispassionate. Like he immediately sort of, I don't like his perspective all the time, and I think he's a dick, but he's so quick to sort of like bury the emotion and do what he thinks is the pragmatic thing to do. So in that way, I kind of see in that way where he could quickly make decisions, like right there in that moment, he took the emotion. Obviously I care, and then just thought, how can we use this? And that is something in this particular world, in the Targaryen war, you kind of want on your side. That's why it's sort of in the later scene, which I loved with him and Aegon, when he got the firing scene, where Otto just stopped holding back. Like 3 kings of like kissing butt. He finally just said, I'm done. I'm gonna tell this kid he's a moron. He's a frat boy moron, and he just let it happen. I thought that was my favorite scene of the episode, when Otto just laid into Aegon.
Yeah, definitely my favorite scene in the episode. And this is what it is. So we have two different roles here: the role of the king and the role of hand of the king, right? And when you have this, let's talk about the hand of the king for a second. When you have a role of hand of the king, your job is not to kiss the king's ass.
No.
Your job is to check the king from what he's doing and let him know, hey, calm down here a little bit. This is what you should be doing. King doesn't have to take your advice, but it's that's your role in that job. And any effective hand always does that. When you talk about Davos with Stannis, right? Anytime Stannis had some, Davos wasn't afraid to speak up to him. He said what he felt like. Stannis still did what he wanted to do, but he gave his counsel, his good counsel. He was a good hand of the king. Tywin Lannister, probably the best hand of the king the realm has ever seen. You know, in my opinion, this guy will tell you what it is. He told you how to do things and understood exactly what the role of the hand of the king is. What type of hand would you want? Would you want a hand that's like that, Bridge, or would you rather have a hand like, who's an ass-kissing hand? Sir Kristen Cole?
Yeah, right. Well, just for the record, yeah, Tywin was a great hand of the king, but keep in mind, he was the one sort of betraying the king in the end. He chose his side at the end of that war. But in a way, you could say that was good for the realm. He was making the better choice because the Mad King Aerys was a psycho. But yeah, of course, I would want like a loyal friend, someone who's going to speak to me true, the way that, like you said, the way that most people won't speak to a king. You want to have someone who has the guts and the confidence to speak to you and tell you what's up.
Well, I will say this in Tywin's defense: the king did fire him from the job, and he went back. And if the king never fired him, Robert never wins that rebellion. I don't think it's.
And Tony, he literally wanted to fire him. He wanted to burn him down to the ground. And sorry, that was a bad pun. I will also go one step further with the. I want a hand that will definitely argue with me, but I want them to argue with me in private. In public settings, I want us to be sort of like a unified front, like in the council setting, but like behind closed doors, Silvio brings Tony aside and goes, Silvio tends to agree with Tony in public settings, but brings him aside and goes, Tony, I've known you since you were a kid. You're being an asshole. So that's the kind of consigliere or hand that I would want. Someone that would sort of in public stuff, maybe defend me in a moment, then take me out back and go, you're being a moron. Because I'm still king and I don't want you arguing with me in the moment to make me look stupid.
Without getting the spoilers, I'll be very vague here. You're gonna hear almost like an exact line about what you just said in the upcoming show, like the Hedge Knight. You'll hear a line like that about address me a certain way in private and a certain way in public. That's cool. Yeah,
that's what you have to do. You can't outshine the guy. It makes him look a little bit less powerful, right? You can't outshine the master. That's not the way it's supposed to be. You're always supposed to do things in the background when you're doing the hand of a king. And Ned Stark, I would say, was an effective hand for Robert. He didn't really get a chance to really be a hand for Robert. But as from what we've seen when he was sitting the Iron Throne, he seemed to be a little bit too lenient at times. But he seemed like he knew what he was doing. And I think he would have been a good hand for Robert if Robert, didn't hurt himself and all that. Even though Robert was really almost uncontrollable, he didn't really want to listen to anybody. Well, and that brings us here to the king. What makes a good king, and why is a king good, and everything else, right? So when dealing with a king, Bridge, we'll go to Phil, and then we'll bring in Alicia because I see Alicia's back there. We're going to bring her in while Bridge is talking. Bridge, what makes a good king to you?
Well, I think like the Westerosi Ninja, if you want to highlight his chat, if you see that, he makes a great point. Like a good king, there's different good kings at different times. This is wartime, and in this time, like Kristen Cole isn't necessarily a bad choice for a hand per se. And the same thing applies to a king. It's like there are different kings that can work effectively in different types of cultural and social economic situations.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think that you do, if you are good at your job, then you got to be consistent all the way out, right? So if you want a wartime commander or so, then you get a general, right, of your army, and let that guy be that person at that time, right? But the hand of the king needs to be consistently the same all the way through. So that's why I don't think Kristen Cole will ever be an effective hand of the king, because he has no diplomatic ability, and he just doesn't know. He hasn't. It's like you run for president of Congress. You gotta know how to rub elbows with people. You gotta know how to be cool with people. You gotta know how to get along with these lords. These are your people. So I disagree. I think that you need to be consistent when you're in there.
But the problem, though, is like, let's say the king, for example, he wants to go to war and whatnot. He's got Otto in his way right now because Otto's sort of trying to keep the peace, gain support first. He wants to go to war now, the king. So he kind of needs someone that's going to push that direction. So it's almost like the hand is preventing the king from doing what he wants to do right now, which is partially why he replaced him.
All right, Alicia.
Well, hello.
Alicia's rocking with us from Direwolf City. What up, Alicia?
Hey, how are you?
We are good. We are all good. We're talking about king. What makes an effective king to you?
I don't know. I've never lived under a king. I'm just gonna let y'all cook.
Yeah. All right, Phil.
I would say, oh, the puppy. Hold on. I would say someone that makes sure that his people at the end of the day eat. It's all we really want at the end of the day.
Yeah, we want to eat. Most people. Phil, what about you? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. It's an effective king. It's a tough thing. I think it does. I think I agree kind of with Bridge in the sense that it depends the situation. And I don't know, Tony. I think maybe in wartime, if we go to the Godfather thing, would Crispin Cole be a good wartime consigliere? I mean, in the sense of being able to just go pure action, like for Sonny or something like that. And that let's burn them all down. So maybe in that sense, but like I think a good king is able to go in a lot of different directions. I think be able to be tough when he needs to, but also be able to understand the flexibility of a situation. And I guess I'll throw this question: of all the kings that we've seen on the two shows so far, who is the best king? Viserys on this show, was he the best example of a king that we've seen so far in the show? It's sure not Joffrey. It's not Robert. You probably say maybe Stannis, but I mean, who have we seen that is the best?
That's a good question. Bridge, who's the best from Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon? Who is the best king that we've seen so far?
I'm going to cheat a little bit here. But technically, my answer is true. The old king, Conciliator, Jaehaerys. We saw him in the very first scene of the show.
Yeah, we did.
He was the best. I don't know. Of the other people, yeah, like you guys are mentioning, it's like no one really stands out. I know you love Stannis. I think he had some major flaws. Like none of them were that great to me.
All right.
I would say Viserys, to be honest. Viserys, even though he's such a weak and pushover, of all the kings, maybe Viserys.
Alicia, who's the best king we've seen in Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon?
This is probably going to make a lot of people angry. Jon Snow. The best Game of Thrones, House of, yeah.
I didn't even think of him. I forgot.
Very short-lived, short-lived. But if you're pushing me for the best, I'd say good old Johnny boy.
I guess that is the answer, and it's by far he's the best.
I don't know about that. If Jon,
you know,
no, I don't know if Jon is the best. I mean,
it's not like we've had a slew of great kings so far.
No, we haven't. I would love to say Stannis, but I understand his rigidness. It's what would hold him back. He's too letter of the law, right? You don't want someone who's going to be that letter of the law, because situations do dictate actions and stuff. You know, you can't just say, "Oh, you stole the potato. Let me chop off your hand for doing it." Well, if your family's, but your wife's about to give birth and this, that, and you got to understand what's going on there. So I would say Mance Rayder, the King Beyond the Wall.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna have to pivot now that you point that out.
I didn't even think about that one. That's a very good.
Yeah, that's the answer, man. Good one.
Yeah, the King Beyond the Wall is the best king that we've seen.
Hell yeah!
All right, let's
cares the most about his people for sure.
Cares the most about his people. Knew how to lead them right. When he was about to get slaughtered by Stannis, he told everyone to drop their shit, don't run, and everything else. When the Blackwater Bay happened and they were getting their ass kicked, Stannis was like, "What are you running for? Everyone's out." He could have ran out with him and told them everything else and said, "Yeah, this battle is lost." But he was willing to have everybody slaughtered, as we've seen what happened to him when he went in there with all the people. He just stood there and let everyone get slaughtered, and that was it, and himself at the end.
Another shout out to Mance Rayder is that I forget because it's been a while since I read the books, but I think he knew about the White Walkers effectively like 20 years ago. He stayed north of the wall trying to rally everyone to get them south of the wall. Like if I had found out about the White Walkers, me and my loved ones were getting over that wall. We're piecing out. You know what I mean? He stayed up there to help everyone. I mean, he's a very selfless man, great leader.
Yeah, I would say Mance Red. All right, let's go through a little bit of the episode. I don't really remember a lot of it because there wasn't really a lot to remember. But let's just skip around. Let's go
Me
to the
too.
car.
I'm kind of panicked because I'm like, oh, do I remember what happened?
Yeah, it's hard for me to remember because it's bleeding into episode 1. Cargyle twins. All right, so
yeah, the good fight.
all right, so we seen how that came about. We seen Sir Kristen Cole get upset, really upset at himself for allowing this to happen, and took out his anger on Sir Eric or Arik, one of them, whoever it was, and kicking chairs and said your cloak is dirty. And I think that was a metaphor to how he felt about his own cloak for having sex with this chick.
Yeah.
So I think he was inflicting how he felt because he soiled his cloak by having sex with Allison. So when he seen the actual dirt on that man's cloak, it kind of resonated, made him think about himself like his cloak is really that dirty, though you cannot see the stains on it as the dirt. So I think that's what was going on there when he was doing that to him and sent him out.
And he's a douchebag.
He is no doubt.
I was going to say, you're giving him way more credit than we did over at Direwolf City because we just decided he's big gas station dude energy. You know how like girl goes to a gas station, dude hollers at her, she rejects him in some way or another, and it's all of a sudden it's like, fuck you, bitch, you ugly anyway. And he's just bringing that energy to Rhaenyra. It's just a whole lot of projection. He really brought to Arik, just like pulling him over for no reason. Like, just there was a lot going on with that scene.
No doubt about it. How did you view the scene? You gotta unmute yourself, brother.
Sorry, refresh me. Which specific scene are we speaking about?
We're talking about when Sir Arik is confronted by Chris.
Oh, yeah, I got distracted. Can I just throw a tangent on here because it's something that I'm probably gonna forget to say. I wanted your opinions, guys. Like, I love the scene. It's very poetic and it's very fantasy and stuff like that. I literally cannot think of a situation where my brother and I are going to fight to the death. It's just almost like if I actually think about that scene, it doesn't make sense to me because I'm like, brothers don't do that. It wouldn't happen. I know oaths and this and that. Like, it doesn't even really make sense to me. Like, brother, like a picture of my brother comes in the room and he's going to kill the girl, the queen that I'm protecting. I'd be like, dude, no. Oh shit. Dude, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here now. Like, that's my number one, not the queen. And it's hard to even picture a world where I'm protecting someone more than my brother. You know what I mean? And the same would apply to you guys on screen, let alone my blood brother who I've grown up with. I guess it's not happening.
I gotta totally disagree.
Really?
I haven't spoken to a person on the personal note. I'll say I haven't spoken to my brother in I think probably 13 years. We were best friends, and we got into an argument and haven't spoken ever since. And at one point in the conversation when he was having it, I was like saying, I was like, I'll come over and talk to you about this. And he goes to me like, well, you know what I got in my house.
Oh, no.
And I was like, well, you know what I'm carrying with me. He's like, Lord. Then it is what it is. When we see each other, it is what it is. And I was like, let's do it then. So do I actually think that it would ever come to that? No. Don't think it would ever be anything like that if I actually did see him. But when we were mad at each other at the time and we were talking like that, you know what I mean? So I could see situations that can happen. I've seen brothers fight before. I've seen guys sleep with their brother's wives and get their ass kicked by their brother. I've seen things like that happen. You know what I mean? So I definitely can see brothers fighting. The Cain and Abel is for a reason, man. That's just not just a thing that's there. It's for a reason. It's a disgusting thing. It should never happen, but it does happen. What do you think, Alicia?
Well, I think realistically, the way that Eric responded to having to kill his brother was very realistic because I think it depends on different siblings' dynamics. But at the end of the day, I do think, I'm not speaking on my experiences, I'm not trying to speak for other people, but I can see in a sibling dynamic, when you think you are fighting for the greater good and somebody is getting in the way of that greater good, I'm speaking loosely here. You know, for Eric, he believes that Rhaenyra is the queen. Arik is coming to kill her in her sleep, which is a very quote unquote dishonorable thing to do. He was protecting his queen, and the way that he responded by ending his own life is a realistic thing. He did just have to take his brother's life. It didn't sit well with him, and he responded the way he did. So I don't think it was a heartless thing in general. Like, I think the thing I love about House of the Dragon is maybe the way that a scene plays out in the moment isn't quite what I was imagining in the book, but retrospect, when I stew on it a bit, to me, it does have a lot of emotional gravitas. And I think that it was a very tragic thing that happened between the two of them, because I think that brothers would in that situation. And it's not for lack of love, because Eric immediately literally fell on his own sword after that. He couldn't live with it. So,
as Khaleesi Clue said in the chat, brothers fought brothers in the Civil War and killed each other during the Civil War time. So it's a known thing. Phil?
And just from like a television standpoint, from the way that things are usually orchestrated or choreographed on screen, I thought it was choreographed really realistic. So it created a lot more emotional feel. It reminded me a lot of, I keep quoting The Sopranos, talking about The Sopranos tonight, but like similar to Ralphie and Tony's fight, or Bobby and Tony's fight, you could really feel the fight. It didn't seem orchestrated at all. It seemed like a real fight. And especially the way that Rhaenyra was moving around the room and like blocking. I just thought it was almost like a mission in a video game, like a protection mission that you have to protect the character, but it did kind of feel like you were in it in that moment, and I liked that. I thought that added to the tension of the feel, and I kind of like the Rocky Apollo ending. Both falling at the same time.
What about the plan itself? You thought it was a good plan?
No, the plan was fucking stupid.
Yeah. It was really. Oh my gosh! It was
the plan
so
was kind of smart.
No, it was. How?
No?
Okay,
It's
okay.
sneaky.
Walk
They're
me
twins. That's
through
pretty
it.
cool.
It's not
Well,
the parent
what is he gonna-
trap.
Okay,
It's not the
what
friggin'
is it?
parent-
What is it, Kristen? Honestly, I think Kristen, that was not a bright idea. He was just kicking whatever puppy was around. There was a lot going on with Kristen as far as projection goes and all that other stuff. But I mean, like, it was such a stupid plan, and you can see it written all over. Like, Otto was us in that moment when Aegon was like, "Oh yeah, Kristen has a good plan," and Reese is just not Reese. Otto's just looking at them like
Tekashi 6ix9ine voice, because it sounded like Tekashi 6ix9ine when you did that.
Oh no, I was sometimes when I call the Targaryens idiots, I try to slip into this like really fake Australian accent.
It sounded like a Tekashi 6ix9ine.
But anyway, no, like as Otto is hearing this plan, he's just got this incredulous, these fucking idiots look on his face. Like, what is wrong with you? Because ultimately, what are you going to do when you run into your twin? Which is like such a likely, it was a stupid plan from the get. And I think like the fact that Aegon is like, oh, it's so brilliant is that scene was supposed to highlight how inept he is without Otto. For all of Otto's faults, I'm the biggest Otto hater. Okay, I'm running with a lot of Otto haters here, but I will say the dude is smart. He's despicable, but he's intelligent. Aegon needs him. And the fact that like Kristen Cole hatched that stupid ass plan and Aegon's like, yeah, this is the shit, is highlighting like how much shit is gonna hit the fan.
Yeah.
The plan only
Can I
works.
ask you a question though?
Oh,
You
sorry.
say it's so there's upside is that they kill the queen, right? That's the upside to the plan. In order for it to be a bad plan, what's the downside if it doesn't work?
I was telling you real quick. If let's say you kill the queen, it doesn't end the war. It doesn't end with her because now she has a son that's going to be pissed off even more if you murdered her son.
Now Damon's in charge.
Now Damon's going to come in there. He's going to be all upset. You got the son. You got Damon. So doing it doesn't end the war. You know what I mean? So if your plan is like, oh, I'm going to end this war, let me kill this queen and end the war don't end there. Like, it's different like when Jaime Lannister, your knight in Shining Armor Bridge, when he looked down Dany with his little horse and he said, you know what, I'm going to try. If he would have killed her, that ends the war because there's no one after her. She has no kids. She has no nothing that's going to come and avenge her. The war is over. So when he did it, that would have ended the war. But by this dude going in, it would just inflame everyone. And the bottom line is they have more dragons than them, right? All they really have to do is get pissed off enough to say, we're burning all King's Landing and everybody in it down. Fuck all those people. And Damon would be a type of guy to get these people to go do that. And then we'll just rebuild this motherfucker from the ashes and start this thing up. So that's why I think the plan in itself was terrible because it doesn't end the war. It would just make people more mad.
Whether it's a good plan, I think the plan only would work if Eric killed Eric before you try to pretend to be him. So he knows he's not anywhere there, or capture him, knock him out, store him somewhere.
What was the
get him out of the
suicide
equation.
mission? Even if Eric succeeds, how is he going to get out of that Citadel after murdering the queen? Like, they're going to put that. Right. He called it, and he kind of like, I think when Kristen presented it to him, Arik knew he had no choice. Like, at no point did he think he was going to succeed. I don't know. The whole thing was just so idiotic. It was, but I'm really glad they painted it that. There's a reason his immediate response to Jaehaerys's murder was PR. Like, how are we going to spin this? Because he knows you can't just like hack and slash your way through this war. Kristen doesn't know that, and he highlighted that. Like, we need to. This is let no one say I didn't love my grandson, but you know, as a manager, he was in as Gray has said, he was in his Kris Jenner bag in that moment.
Any war you've ever seen that's ever been full. Let me give a shout out to my two ladies up in here. First and foremost, my lady Elamar in the chat from the Lane and Don podcast. Love you, miss you. And the lady Gray Areas up in the building rocking with us right now. Love you too, boo. Hope everything's going good with you. Any war we have ever seen, we've seen people take countries fly over and drop pamphlets on the floor for propaganda, right? It's always propaganda. We go to any news outlet, the Ukraine situation, the things going on in Israel, everything has to be spun to your side because the public's not behind you. You're not going to win the war. You're going to look like monsters. You may even come up on war crimes. They may even try to overthrow you for what you're doing. People have been overthrown and taken over for things like that. The people will rise up, and the people have the numbers no matter what. All they have to do is just get enough balls and rally around it. And if they charge at you, you're not going to be able to stop them all. That's just the way it be. You know what I mean? So you have to have the proper propaganda. And he was looking at that. And Aegon was not looking at it because as he said, all the goodwill he brought, he grabbed up for them. By doing this, would take it all away in the blink of an eye. And what we seen him when he hung every dog rat catcher in King's Landing. Like, I'm gonna hang them all. You know, one of them's responsible. We're gonna hang them all. As he's telling, he's like, yo, we just built up a shit ton of goodwill. These people got families, they got brothers, they got mothers, they got kids. You know, these are just regular rat cats. There's nothing special about them. And you hung them all and put their bodies on display, bro. You know what I mean? You could at least put them in the black cells and hit them and say, I don't know what happened. Scooby-Doo with them. Oh, no. It just did something. But by putting their bodies up there like you're proud of killing rat catchers is just a disgusting movie.
Like, it's just completely over his head that he fucked up.
No doubt about it. Let me take these two super chats real quick from Kelly Johnson. First one says, only book readers will get the Carl Guy situation. I don't know about that. And as Team Small Folk as Bridges, deaf to the dragons. You know, Bridges Team Small Folk. That's what he.
So
always
he's
read.
Team Shepherd.
Yeah,
the dude with the gimp hand, the not hand, just stump.
Well, actually, so Shepherd, for example, I mentioned this in a previous stream. He's painted one way in the history books. I'm hoping that this is a really like endearing character. You never know. We'll see it. We'll see how it plays out.
We'll see.
Real quick though, I
have a whole theory about the Shepherd.
See, you had mentioned one of the most noble knights in history. So we talk about oaths and brothers and stuff. My man, Sir Jaime Lannister, he's like, oaths with Tyrion, my boy's going free. And that's the kind of brother that I think I would like to be. Yeah,
of course. But it's his father trying to kill him too, right?
That is wild.
I mean, he's in a hard situation there. His old dad is trying to kill his brother. But Jaime's always loved his brother. I mean, they make that clearly known. Yeah. That he'll, listen, he went to war, he'll kill anyone. You kidnap my brother, it's on. Yeah. And that's it, you know what I mean? But, I think it is a little bit different here and everything else, you know what I mean? When it's all said and done, when you deal with those two. But I ain't trying to diss your boy. I know it's your boy. I ain't trying to say nothing about that. I don't get all crazy with me and shit. We gonna leave Jaime.
That's Lannister. A fight for a different day.
Yeah, we're gonna leave Jaime Lannister alone and stuff and everything else. All right, still delving with the episode. The actual sword fight itself, did you guys like the sword fight in the room? Do you think it was portrayed well?
Yeah, I think it was really realistic. I'm so sorry. You go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, yeah, I already said that. I loved it.
I think it was really realistic as to how siblings actually brawl. Mm-hmm. Like, less about technique and more about, I don't know. Anyone that's ever brawled with a sibling, if you know, you know.
Bridge, what do you think about the duel?
Like it's weird because nowadays, like back in the day, I used to read Drizzt Do'Urden, and the guy's legendary. He was the guy who wrote it. He's a hockey player, and he writes these like really cool sword fights and stuff. I used to love sword fights and books and action scenes and movies and shows. They do nothing for me now. At best or at worst, they can actually like it turns me off. Like in like Jack Reacher, he'll get smashed in the face with a crowbar and then stand up and keep fighting. I'm like, this is so unrealistic. So whenever a scene doesn't jump out as being unrealistic, then it's a win for me. But like action, sword fights and stuff, I don't really care for them. I'm more for like the plot and the characters. Like for example, Rhaenyra, right? When she suspects that Damon is the one who did it, she like looks over at him, and then there's this little head movement. It moves a second time. Like that's the stuff that I love about TV shows, not the sword fight.
Bridge,
it was a good sword fight.
I think that's part of what I liked about it, what you're saying there. It wasn't as sword fighty as it could have been. It was more about the relationship between the brothers and feeling the energy between the two of them. I think I'm just desensitized to it, like post a show like Daredevil on Netflix, where it's just such perfect orchestration of combat. And it's like, for me, you don't get better than that. I mean, it's white noise after a while of like the action, bang, 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 bang. And then it's more about the meaning behind it. And I thought for characters, they didn't flesh out an amazing amount. I thought they built up the meaning behind that fight really well within the fight itself. So whoever the fight choreographer was did an excellent job, I think.
Yeah, I didn't want to see like a Mountain versus Oberyn fight. You know, I know people probably did. I think people.
What do you mean by that?
Huh?
In what way? In what way? What do you mean
like
by
the
that?
way the flipping around, he's spinning the sword around, and they're fighting
like the
that.
Sir Arthur Dane, Arthur Dane fight
You killed her, and you killed, and you smothered her, killed, and her children, and posing and looking.
You killed my father. Prepare to die. Like Princess Bride.
I didn't want to see nothing like that. That would have been crazy. Oh, he hit him, grabbed the bedpan and smacked him in the face. You know, it was a gritty, close quarters fight. You know what I mean? Of people who didn't want to really fight each other. So you could even say they weren't really going all the way out with each other. They were just, you know, at least the one brother was definitely not going all the way out with him. And he's doing his job, trying to block it, but probably wasn't doing the greatest like he would do versus a stranger. Like that type of hatred you would have for a stranger would make you want to kill him. They probably were holding back a little bit, but still trying to get the job done.
Yeah, they weren't fighting angry.
Yeah, when it was all said and done. So I thought in the end it was a good fight. You know, I didn't want to see nothing crazy. Talk about people calling up. Phil, do you want me to take calls? Do you want to take the calls?
Either or works.
It's probably better for you because then everyone can hear it at the same time if you do. All right, so we're going to put Phil's number up there for y'all to call in. So don't call my number. Call up Phil's number. KP, I know you just called. Call up the other number, and we'll go through it that way. That way we can hear. Go ahead, Bridge.
Yeah, so my favorite part of the fight was the fact since they're in the same armor and they look alike, I literally out loud was like, which one's which? As Largen or Marbrand, whatever his name is, he looked at Rhaenyra and he goes, which one's which? We like said it almost at the exact same time. So I thought that was pretty funny. That was awesome.
I don't know. They couldn't get Rhaenyra out the room.
Well, yeah, I did wonder that. At the very beginning, it seemed like she was up and moving, and then she wouldn't run. Like, why didn't she just
one sec, KP,
run out of the room? I guess she sort of got pinned into a corner.
Yeah, I think they should have. You know, in any situation, no matter what, when you see it, any situation, if it's any dignitary or anyone, they out the room, bro. They don't let them stay in the room and watch the fight. They get them out the room as fast as possible. When Ronald Reagan got shot, they tackled his ass into the car and drove him away. They ain't just tell him Ronald Reagan, what's going on? No, they get him out of there. You gotta get people out of the situation. So I didn't like the fact that they just didn't get her out of the room. They should have ushered her off in the room. It would have been more believable if they would have did that.
What's going on, KP? Welcome.
Well, let me disagree. Cool, Lord. Listen, I like the fact that Rhaenyra couldn't get away. I like the fact that she had to be like, for one, she's actually like this war that she's a part of actually touching her. It's the war is touching. It's not just touching the small folk. The war has come to her bedroom and it's touching her, and she doesn't like it. What it does to her, whether it makes her more empathetic or whether it makes her more dangerous, to the point where she stops giving a fuck and she's like, oh, okay, you want to send people to my bedroom? All right, okay. I'm going to let Damon do what he wants to do then. I hope that's what she says, because I want to see Damon do what he wants to do. I so bad with it. I am going to throw out a hot take for tonight's episode, and you guys can tell me if I'm fucking insane.
You're insane.
Or G.
Oh no, sorry.
So this is my take tonight. Bela on morning. Bela's on morning. No, Bela's on Moon Dancer.
Mhm.
Bela, Moon Dancer, she gets killed, and that says Rhaenyra insane, and Jace has to take on the responsibility of ruling for a while, and he does some fun things. That's what I think happens tonight.
You think Bela gets wiped out this episode?
Well, because last episode is the episode where she said, Bela, take your dragon and go to King's Landing. So I guess this is when we see her do it. And I think because we have to get to crazy Rhaenyra at some point. We have to get to be Rhaenyra that is so grief-stricken that she can't make decisions and Jace takes control. We have to get there at some point, right? The thing that got her there previously is not going to, because the thing that got her there in the first place was Lucerys' diet. That didn't do the trick this time, right? So something has to get her there. And I don't think there is another decision that she would have been more directly responsible for as the decision of calling Bela into her, having somebody tell her, you should let your son take his dragon and go over there. And her say, no, not my son, but I'll send your daughter to do it though. And call the daughter in and tell the daughter, take your little dragon, go over to King's Landing, fly really, really high so nobody sees you. Like, spy and let me know what those motherfuckers are doing. And I see no reason why Bela would not agree to do it. She seems very excited to get it done. Nobody seems to be trying to tell her, hey, that's not a good idea. Probably don't do that. So I believe she's going there in this episode. And to me, the only thing that gets Rhaenyra to grief-stricken calm decisions, Rhaenyra, would be being directly responsible for the death of somebody that she loves insanely. That should have been Lucerys, but they did not do that in the show. So I think it has to be this decision that she makes that goes badly, that sends her mad. And because she has to get set mad so that Jace takes control, because Jace has to do some things. You guys, I might be wrong, obviously. I don't fucking know. But that's what I smell the Rock cooking.
I don't see them. Real, you don't have to hang up, KP. Let me just answer this real quick.
I'll turn him down.
First off, I will say that I cannot see Bela going out this soon. It's just way too early for her to die. I think she has a bigger role to play. I just don't see it. And I understand you say you want to see the crazy Rhaenyra. I don't think they're going to go Rhaenyra in the books where she's just sitting around in the book in Dragonstone. I think they're going to have a more active Rhaenyra in the show because it's not really fun. It's not good for TV, right? So I think you're going to see a different type of Rhaenyra in the show than the one that we've seen in the books and everything else. So just for that reason alone, that's better for TV if she's out there, out and about and stuff. So, but Bela, I can't see them getting. All right, let me go around the horn here. Bridge, what do you think? Bela goes out this episode or what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what type of stream we're doing. I'll plead the fifth, but I'm pretty much on point with whatever you said already. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know it quite as well as you guys, but I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I'm just saying this episode. You think not
I would not expect it. No, not at all. I would be shocked. And to be honest, like I love her. She's one of my favorite characters. That would take me to a whole new level. I think, like you said, if it's this early, something like that happens, like book readers are gonna go crazy. But I don't know. I'd be kind of excited. Like, what?
This episode's got to be more Damon based, I would think.
This is gonna be a Damon heavy episode.
It's got to be more Damon Harrenhal
stuff.
Yeah, that's right. I think.
Yeah, I think I do remember a vague clip of it from the trailer. Like I said, I watched it one time after the episode. I think you're probably right with that.
Yeah,
wow, that's cool.
They have to do all that Damon Harrenhal stuff.
Oh,
I think. You may see them marching the army out at the end, but I don't think you're going to actually see a war with them or anything like that.
So you think like Bela, let's say they march out or whatever, Bela might be up in the skies like, ooh, snooping around. She's going to basically report back the information like, yo, they're on the move.
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't think she'll get bagged up. I think she'll see everything and then fly away and be out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think she's going to get
we have not seen Moon Dancer on screen yet, right? Because there's different shaped dragons. I'm curious what type of dragon Moondancer is.
Yeah.
Could someone put Phil's call-in number? Put the call-in number in the chat for us. People asking about the number. Phil, I'll put it in too much. So Phil, what's the number again?
781-990-8509. Thank you, Carla and John.
Yeah, if you want to call up, that's the number to call up. We're taking calls on that one right there. Yeah, I don't know. We've seen Moondancer now that I'm thinking.
And there we go.
Yeah, someone said, "Do we saw it in the trailer?" I didn't pause the trailer quick enough to see.
No, I'm
that.
just saying the show so far.
Yeah, the show. I don't think we've seen it.
I don't think we've seen it in the show.
Welcome to the show, area code 404. What's going on? You're here with Bridge and Tony and Phil.
Hey, how's it going, you guys?
Hey.
Marcus.
Hey, Marcus. What's going on, man?
Going good. So I wanted to come on here to set the record straight about my girl Bayla. She is not going anywhere anytime soon. She is here to stay. She is here to be the beautiful young lady that she is and just to be amazing. So I think also, too, for what she's going to do in this episode, because she's in the trailer. We see her on Moondancer in the trailer. So we know that she's going to have a big part to play in how things go down for, I believe, in the next episode. So I think, and I said this a few days ago on a Dire Wolf City live stream as well, shout out to them, that I think that Bayla is going to see Aegon fly to Rochester because we see him fly and leave the castle as well. Right. And so I think she's going to see all of this go down and see them march out of King's Landing. And she'll be like, well, where are they going? But I don't think that she'll have time to be able to go back and tell Rhaenyra and everybody else what's going on because she thinks that, hey, I have to go see what's going on and see, and report back. But I don't think she'll have time to go to Dragonstone in between, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Let me get the order correct real quick because maybe I'm missing it. They leave King's Landing to Harrenhal first, right? And then up after that. That's the way it goes in the books, right? I'm not going into details, but when the army from King's Landing leaves, they go to Harrenhal first, then up?
No, it's like Duskendale and Rosby.
They do go to Harrenhal, though.
Yeah, but they hit those places first, I believe.
They hit Rosby and Dustindale first, then go to Harrenhal?
So. I could be. No, don't quote me on that. I retract my sentence.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. That's a good question. But I do know that we also see the Blackwood and the Brackens as well in this trailer. So they might swing through there as well, maybe. I'm not well versed in that part. But all I know is that for, Rook's Rest, we see that there's, Kristen Cole and all of them, and we see Bayla in what I think is her chasing after them. But I think that her staying up high in the sky and she sees everything go down, it's going to upset her. Non-spoiler territory. But anyway, but yeah, so I just wanted to say that, Bayla's not going nowhere. I am so excited to see her. And I think that it is a little bit weird for Rhaenyra to not want Jace to go anywhere, but ask Bayla to do that. However, I also think that what could have happened was Jace and Bayla would have gone together to give them more time to develop their relationship and themselves as characters, even though we saw them have a conversation in the last episode that brings them together about their dads and everything. But I also want them to be developed more because they are betrothed, and I want to see more from them in terms of their chemistry.
I agree. I would like to see a little more of them together to see if they got any chemistry. I think Rhaenyra's son it's not like he's he may be the most likable person in that whole army over there with them.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
He'd probably be so
yeah, I do like Jason.
Flesh out that relationship.
I think that every actor even is really making sure that even if you don't like what the character does, you can like the performance that they're doing for the character. And we see that Aegon and Otto and even Allison, each of these actors is really bring everything to the table to say, hey, you may not like this character, but you know what? You're going to understand their perspective, and you're going to, there will be moments where you like how they think, or you can understand where they're coming from. And I went into this show, especially season 1, knowing that I would not be able to stand Allison and Otto. However, the performance that we got last episode, where he was literally going in on Aegon and Kristen Cole, I said, you know what? I kind of like you right now. You know, I just do. Because it's like he's literally making a lot of sense here. And I also want to say last thing, that Allison and Otto are the best when it comes to facial expressions, because I remember last season when they were at the funeral in Driftmark and Rhaenyra comes out and she's looking at Damon, and then Rhaenyra looks at Allison and Allison is giving her just this look of disgust. I was cracking up. And that same facial expression, I think, was used when after Aegon named Kristen Cole his hand, and Otto just looks slowly at Kristen Cole in the look of disgust. I was cracking up at that. I was on the floor. So props to them. Shout out to all of that. But yeah, I just want to come on and talk about Bela and just call you guys and just say hey. And so yeah, thank you guys.
No, thanks for the call. Thanks for watching every week, man. Truly appreciate you.
Absolutely. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, no, the side eye stuff is great. So you even for the people who hate Otto, you had to like him this episode.
Oh yeah, he was roasting. He was like the roast master up there. And just trashing them. It was great.
Yeah. Oh, you think your father really wanted you to be king? You really think he did?
He's just like laughing out loud. It was so perfect.
You know, he's like, I don't want to be seen as weak. You are weak.
Everyone sees you as weak. The whole people are screaming from the street top, from the rooftop.
Yeah, I mean, what are you thinking here? What Kool-Aid you sipping and everything?
We got another call from area code 205. Area code 205. Welcome to the show. I tried to say.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Tony? Phil?
What up?
What's going on, everybody? I got a couple of comments, if y'all don't mind, just breaking it down.
Do it. Take over, my friend.
Now, I've read the books and all that, but people, been giving their opinions on this would never happen if Rhaenyra would have stayed in King's Landing. My opinion is, if Rhaenyra would have stayed in King's Landing, I believe she would have been took prisoner and killed.
All right, so I just did a video on that, actually, right? I don't know, maybe like 5 days ago. So I'm not saying that's where the talk is coming from, or anyone watched it or anything else like that. But I will say that I disagree 100%. I don't think she would have been killed at all. I don't think they had the power to kill her. If Rhaenyra is there, that means Damon is there. That means she has her own guards that are there for her. All those other guards that are there for her are loyal to her more than they're loyal to Allison and them at the time, because it is known at that particular time that Rhaenyra is next in line. She would be queen if her father died. So the guards would not have switched. They would have all been protecting her more than protecting Allison or her kids, because at that time, everyone knew Rhaenyra was supposed to be queen. They took the throne. That's why they had to have the secret meeting to begin with.
Yeah.
Interject.
And it didn't come from your video. It came from another guy's video because his point didn't make sense. But no one knew.
Who is this person?
I don't know, man. It's some new guy. It just came up on my feed. And
can I say something?
Yeah, go for it, Elise.
Go ahead.
I do think there's merits on both sides. There's merits on both sides, because what Tony is saying is very true. Like her presence would have brought a lot of loyalty from a lot of the guards, but in the same sense, we don't know that if she were in King's Landing, things with Rhaenyra and Damon would have turned out the same way, because one of the reasons, at least in the books, that she was able to get away with marrying Damon was she was on Dragonstone and out from her dad's watchful eye. So it's just one of those things where it's like, we don't know, because the whole circumstance around it would have been completely different, I think. So it's like she could have been taken prisoner. They could have just nipped that one in the butt real quick.
Because we don't, when Alicent came and told Otto that Viserys told her that he wished Aegon to be king, and the small council had already said, well, we've been planning this all along, so we might as well go ahead with our plan.
Yeah, but it was a secret plan. The plan was. The
plan was. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, but it's
a dragon back, and her dad died.
And so I don't look at it as a plan. It's a coup, right? So the fact that it's a coup means that they're doing wrong. That means if Rhaenyra was there, they would not have been able to do that. They had to. That's why they had to. I guess if you look at what was going on in the books and stuff and everything else, they locked up everybody that was in that knew anything about it. They put them all in the black cells. They didn't let anybody see it. They did this to prevent it from leaking out because they knew they were wrong for what they were doing. So I just don't see it happening like that. If Rhaenyra is there, she is known as the heir. They had the dad came out there staggering with his half face on his cane in front of everybody and told everyone, this is my heir. Why are we even talking about this shit anymore? This has been decided. So that whole thing that Alicent said, oh, he told me this, that wouldn't have mattered at all. That's like Robert Baratheon telling Ned Stark something, you know what I mean? And Ned just changing the rules and stuff. It didn't matter because at that time, Joffrey was seen as Robert's heir, so he sat the throne. So even when Ned tried to come up in there, it didn't matter. The King's Guard and everyone was on Joffrey's side because you have a new king. That's the king. So she would have automatically been known as the queen. Guy dies. She's immediately in control of everything. As soon as he dies, Rhaenyra becomes the queen. That second, he's dead.
So
it's a done deal.
Tony, you think if she was in King's Landing the night Viserys died, you think Otto and the Hightowers would have went along and crowned her queen?
They would have had no choice. They would have had no choice but to do it, or they would have got executed. She would have came up in there with Damon and everybody else and sat the throne, and all the King's Guard and everyone, as you've seen the King's Guardmen go up in there and pull the sword out on Kristen Cole and was about to hack Kristen Cole down. That guy would have been on Rhaenyra's side. They would have all been running with
it too. It would have been, yeah, you're right. The plan would never took place.
No, you wouldn't have time to sit down in a council meeting and come up with a plan. She would have sat her ass right on that throne and it's over. You get in line or you get killed, and that's just what it is. It would have been a done deal. So she should have never done it. I'm very interested in seeing, Phil, who this person. I think I know who this person is who made that video. We talked about this.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm gonna forward it to you, man, and I'm gonna let you know because it wasn't you, but I'm gonna forward it to you. And my next question is this.
Yeah, forward it to me.
When I seen
does it begin with a?
When I seen that scene with Otto and Aegon, you know, talking, and Otto was telling him about he was wrong for killing the rat catchers. The only thing that kept coming to my mind was Tyler Lannister telling Jaime, "You were stupid to fight Ned. You were stupid to fight Ned. You were stupid to fight Ned." Because you got to control your impulses at some point. That's what a good hand does. I know the king has absolute power, but yeah, the king is going to give a demand to the hand, and the hand has to carry it out. But he's going to have to take his time and really see if that's a good plan. Now, if you have a hand that's just gung-ho like Sir Kristen Cole is going to be, that steel hand or whatever he told his grandfather, then you know your demise is going to be very quick. Because Aegon right now is emotional. He just wants vengeance for his child being killed. But he's thinking as a father. He's not thinking as a king right now.
Yeah, I agree.
As a king, you have to think about the people. If you start a war, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. You got to put that aside for a second and think about, hey, I could cause, you know, mutiny if I play this wrong.
I agree with you saying 100%. He's too emotionally invested and doesn't have anybody to check him and get him back in line and look at the big picture.
Well, it's like Damon was saying in the first episode. I mean, you can gender swap it, but the mother mourns while the queen shirks her duties. It's kind of giving the game away that the two can't always coexist with one another conducively.
100%. I think Damon was right about that too. I thank you, caller. We appreciate the call.
Hey, and I'm gonna see you that YouTuber guy, man.
Yeah, man. Tell him he's biting my shit, man. Tell him I'm on to him, man.
It probably came out a few hours after your video.
Yeah, we're gonna catch him at the con. We're gonna catch him at the con. Fucking people, Phil. You know who I know.
I know who you think it is. I'm curious. We'll put even money on this.
Can't wait to
I think it's even money. We both know.
We'll talk about it backstage.
Yeah,
We'll discuss after the show.
It's a backstage discussion or an after dark discussion.
Yeah. We'll do it. All right. So we talk about Aegon and the King and everything. We got the whole Direwolf City podcast. My man Big P Easy's in the building, rock with us. Girl Nettles is up in the building, rock with us. Thank you all for coming in and rocking with us. Truly appreciate it. What else we going to touch on in this episode? We touched on a lot, but there's much more that I think we're overlooking here. Let's go into the Damon Rhaenyra reaction and everything else. Did you like the way? Do you think you gotta give it to Rhaenyra? I think it's obvious Rhaenyra's right in this situation, and Damon was wrong for doing what he did and everything. How did you like the scene? How it played out?
Sorry, I'm watching the dog in the background about to eat.
All right, Phil. Bridge. Well, how did you like that whole interaction with?
I love that scene. Those actors are fantastic, man. Plus the writing, like when I first watched the scene, you see Rhaenys look over at Damon. I'm like, oh, she knows. And then you see Rhaenyra look over, and then, like I said earlier, her head does that like second little like moves 2 more inches, like, oh, her realization that Damon did it. But here's the thing. I was with them. I was with both of them along that ride, but I don't think Damon said it. I think there was a misinterpretation and it was a mistake because he has no reason to lie to Rhaenyra. He said it was a mistake. Yeah, so I actually think he's misunderstood by the people who love him the most.
So you think that he never said, because they make a point of having them ask him, what if he's not there? What do you want us to do? And then we get a camera shot that does a zoom in on his face.
And then we all imagine him saying, kill the kid. But what if he said, no, a son? She said a son for a son. What if he said it all serious? And we, like, I as a viewer realized that I might be wrong. I got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I don't know.
You're calling him a liar.
I love you, Bridge, but I don't know about that. What do you think, Alicia? Did David
I can't blame
tell this guy to kill a kid if he did not catch Aemon, or is Bridge full right in this one? And she's frozen. I think there you go. Nope. Frozen.
Start over.
My internet is being.
There you go.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Of all the days for my internet, it wants to. Today was just the day. So I apologize to anyone who also listens to the city. Like, you're going to hear me repeating a lot of talking.
1 second, KP.
Did discuss over there.
I think she's frozen again.
Oh no, that's such a shame.
I think she's frozen again. Phil, Phil. All right, here we go. We're gonna do the scene right now, Phil.
Oh wait, I don't have that.
Right. No, not that. I was just saying with the movement.
Wizardry is that?
What if he's not there? What do you want us to do?
Yeah. It's zoomed in. I get you, man. It's zoomed in, and we all imagine what he said next. What if we were wrong, and now we just have this in our heads?
I mean, I don't.
The Bridge.
Yeah, I don't think so, bro. I think they did that specifically with the camera to let us know that this guy, and then he goes. So let's put it like this: Albert and fucking Costello, who went in there to kill this fucking guy, right? You think they came up with there and everything else? Like, he said a son for a son. They just made that up themselves.
No, I think he literally went. She said a son for a son. Like, and he meant it one way, and they genuinely interpreted it the wrong way. It's just a huge tragedy. That's
Look at this. You got a fan in the audience right here. Great area saying, Bridge, go take.
What's up, Greg?
And she also says that she agrees.
Nice. See, I don't know if many people
y'all simping here. And Gray be on that shit too sometimes with these motherfuckers. So you know, I mean, so I'm going with large helmet in this one.
How is he doing this? Those aren't like.
I'm going with helmet.
Okay, KP, we got KP. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, nice.
I just want to ask, whose son? Whose son are we talking about? Because if he said, let's assume he said something, a son for a son. Whose son?
What do you think? He's not talking about mine. I mean, we got to get realistic now. Now, you gotta get realistic here, man. We mean
about Allison's son. Like, this is the war. The story that it originally comes from. It's the princess and the queens, the blacks and the greens. She's talking about Allison's son. So maybe Damon said it for Allison's son, but Blood and Cheese were like, oh, I mean, they were bumbling around.
King?
Like you said.
They walked right past the king. They had no intention of going near the king. So it wasn't those sons, right?
No, but Aemon's a son.
I'm saying he was after Aemon. Aemon ain't got no kids, so he wasn't talking about anything from Aemon. He had to be talking about those two kids. Now it's different in the books, right? It plays out different. They have two boys in this situation. They go in the room. Allison's in the room with them there too. You know, it's a whole different situation when they run up in there. So I 100% agree with that. But I think we gotta be realistic. I know y'all are fans, Khaleesi, Clues, and Gray and Bridge, and I understand. But we gotta be realistic here, people. He said it to them. He did it. Everyone in the small council knew he did it. Everyone knew he did it. They didn't just think about who did it and just pick Damon out the hat.
Damon is not unhappy about the child dying. Let's put it like that. Damon
that's a different question. I don't think he's unhappy. I just don't think it was his fault.
He was glad I was still able to punch him in the mouth a little bit. Like we didn't get Eamon, nor did I think we would get Eamon, but we got one of them. So let him feel some pain. Because that's what Damon wants to do. Damon wants to spread pain. That is, if we look at Damon's life, his whole life, what he's been doing is reallocating pain from himself and his internal battles to the outer world. I want the outside world and people I don't like to feel just as bad or perhaps even worse than I do. And that is how. And how do I do that? By distributing pain. That's Damon's thing. But I don't for a second believe that even if he did not say specifically, well, you should kill my little children. I don't believe that he's hurt by when the little children died. Let's put it that way. Even if we don't know what was said, blah, 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 do we think Damon is hurt by the fact that they killed little Jaehaerys? No. He doesn't
he's not hurt, but this guy busted his wife's head open with a brick.
It's crazy. Let them feel it. Let them feel the pain. Am I wrong, Tony?
I don't think he's hurt 100%. You know what I mean? I don't know if Alicia is in this. Are you there, Alicia?
Yeah, Girl Nettles suggested that I just turn off my camera.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you were there because I see you in the chat, and also maybe we didn't turn the camera. All right, cool. But let me finish this with KP. Yeah, listen, bro. Let's be realistic in this whole situation. No fandom. Like I'm a Stannis fan, right? He burned Shireen. I'm not gonna make an excuse of why he burned Shireen and say he did it for the better good and he wanted to win the war and he needed the king's blood. No, you burnt your fucking daughter. You're an asshole. That's it. Like,
on Father's Day.
I'm gonna call you straight up on it. So I expect y'all to be the same way. All right. Now we know the man said it. Everyone on the show said it. They don't do the camera zoom to the eyes for it not to be that. That's just not what they would do. He lies, lying to it. You could see he's blatantly lying. I didn't say it. And then he almost admits it before it's all said and done. You know what I mean? And then he breaks off and everything else. Everyone know we did it. That's what he wanted, and that's just what it is. You know what I mean? So
can I say something?
Go ahead, Alicia.
Damon's entire I'm team he most likely did it, but the way that they set up his character every single time is plausible deniability.
Yeah, right.
Like they want you to interpret however you want to interpret either way, because the way he's introduced in the books, he's a villain to some, a hero to others, and I think they wanted to keep Like Ryan Condal wants to keep that energy. So yeah, he's more than likely doing these things, but we can plausibly deny it. You know, like I think the most that we can say, like, no, that didn't really happen. We know he killed his first wife.
Yeah,
we
they
know
cut
he
right
did
with
it.
the
You
rope.
didn't
they
see
didn't
it.
show that.
But you
they
didn't
cut-
see
they
it.
showed
Like
the
all
rope.
of his
I
little
believe it was that.
dastardly deeds, you never see him do it.
He didn't do anything horrible.
That's a great point, Alicia. They always cut away right before to give
I
you
am
that.
Damon's lawyer. Here at Direwolf City, we represent Damon Targaryen, son of Balon and Alyssa Targaryen. I'm
Ooh.
just saying. Been doing this a
Balon and
long
Alyssa.
time.
All right,
Quit
listen,
playing in my face.
Y'all did your best Johnny Cochran interpretation of it. Yeah, you did. And I understand exactly what you're saying. But by the preponderance of the evidence, he did it.
So can I ask you a follow-up question then?
Yeah.
No, because I haven't thought of it
Rebuttal,
this way.
bridge 4.
No, not a rebuttal. I want to explore. They're like Alicia said, both stories can technically be true. Like a story isn't alive till it's in someone's head. So in your version of what's happening right now, why did he lie to her? What did he gain from that? Was he scared? Was he scared of telling the truth? Like what was his big win?
Does he get any? No, because this is the bottom line.
Idea of being able to not having to actually look the devil in the face.
So you think he's afraid to look someone in the face? That's your Damon?
No, listen.
It's a way of saying, but he doesn't have to look his evil ass right in the face. He could kind of glimpse at them from the side and be like, "Oh, I didn't even do that." He doesn't have to stare at it and look at the fact that he got a 5-year-old, 3-year-old kid, whatever it was, beheaded. He doesn't have to look at that because he's not a totally horrible person. He's not a totally horrible person. He knows that that's not a good thing, but he wants to spread his pain. It's easier for him to hide away from the one person who he actually cares about, whose opinion actually matters to him. It's easy to hide that evil from her and pretend as though he's okay. That's what I think he went. But Alicia, I interrupted. Alicia, you go.
No, the floor is from you. You go ahead.
Yeah, I would say this, man. This is where I look at the situation. All right, it's not the best analogy, but if you go to work, right, and you come back, right, and you have a dog and your couch is ripped up, you didn't see the dog do it.
It took me a while to get there.
Do it. But you could look at that dog's face when he's got his head to you, say, "Hey, did you do this?" That dog was like, you know he did it, but did you see him do it? So he has plausible liability. Dog would have been like, I was sleeping the whole time.
Tony, it might have been the carpet pissers, but most likely it was the dog. Yeah,
that's what Damon did. He gave the dog face side eye and left up. And that's what he did, because you don't have to. I don't think he's proud of it.
Okay.
Especially when it's thrown in his face that you just beheaded a child. No one's going to be proud of that and big up. Yeah, I did somewhat. No one's coming at you like that. You know what I mean?
Man.
He ain't going to do that. But, he did do it. Just like in the books.
Do you think he was?
When his wife dies in the books, they don't spell it out that he beat her in the head with a rock. But we seen in the show, and they didn't show him actually hit it with the rock. So we're gonna say he was just holding that rock over his head because he felt like getting in some work. He was trying to work out. That's why he held that rock. He was trying to give her a pillow because she had already we know what happened,
like
man.
Little kids, man. You know little kids lie and they stick to their lives. My son, for the last 5 years, did not throw that rock and damage my window. He didn't do it. It's on camera. The ring camera took the whole picture. People across the road saw him do it.
Wasn't
but
me.
For 5 years,
Wasn't me.
He got his ass beat. He's never admitted to do it, and he never will.
Wasn't me.
That's the way kids are sometimes. And that's the way Damon is sometimes. He just will not admit to some of the shit that he's done because you know what? It's easier to not look the devil in the eye.
Excellent point, KP. Talk to you soon, my friend. That's a great point by KP. It's a great point by KP right there.
100%. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
He's innocent.
I ain't trying to sway you. I'm just telling you that for me, I'm going by the facts. The facts is he did it. He was embarrassed. That's why he left. And that's why he bounced, because he's embarrassed. Because any other time you see him going out there choking Rhaenyra, he thought about choking her for a second, but he knew he was wrong. He knew he couldn't get. He's like, I can't do it because I'm wrong. Like she got me, And what she's saying is truthful. It's a bad look for me. It's got nothing to do with you. You made me look bad. And he knows he's wrong on it. And that's why he had to bounce. And like, yo, I got to make this shit right. Let me get up out of here. And that's why he did it. You know what I mean? But he thought about choking her for a second. He looked back like, I'm not choking your ass right now. You keep talking right now. But then he was like, nah, Shorty's right. Let me just get up out of here. And that's why he bounced and everything, in my opinion.
Here we go. Area code 561. Welcome to the show, 561. You're with Tony, Bridge, Phil, and Alicia. What's up tonight?
Hey, it's Nettles. Hi, everybody.
Nettles.
What up, Nettles?
We are having so much fun in the chat, but I just wanted to ask one question, and it's philosophical. And maybe you guys, and I would like all of you, everyone here on the panel, to answer. And maybe you might have a different answer for like book and show. But my question is, do you think that this war is Rhaenyra versus Alicent or Rhaenyra versus Aegon? And it kind of ties into everything we've been talking about regarding a son for a son, because if the intended target is Aemond, then, and we're talking about a son for a son, then the war is Rhaenyra versus Alicent, because Aemond is Alicent's son, Rhaenyra's nemesis, maybe. But if the war is between Rhaenyra and Aegon, then a son for a son, of course, would be Jaehaerys. I just want to see what you guys' take is on that. Like, who is the war between, Alicent and Rhaenyra or Rhaenyra and Aegon? Because the fandom seems to be confused.
All right, we're gonna let Alicia take it.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think when it comes down to it, it's a war between Damon and Otto. It's a war between Aemond and Damon. It's a war between Rhaenyra and Aegon. It's a war between Rhaenyra and Alicent. It's multifaceted. I don't know if I personally would be able to like really sit down and pinpoint like, oh, it, you know, like the bread and meat of this is these two particular people. I think it's just this intricate two factions against each other. So yeah, I'll let the others answer.
So it's just black versus green.
Yeah, I think like families be beefing when it comes to.
All right, Bridge, what do you think? Who's the war between?
That's a great question, because so I think the title of the original story, the Princess and the Queen, the Blacks and the Greens, that's very appropriate because it was for a compendium called Dangerous Women. The way the story reads in the novels, I did always think it was correctly titled, like the war itself, for people in this world. Them calling it like the Women's War, I think it makes sense. But I don't know, in the show, they've just obviously changed Alicent's age. That's what arguably the biggest change in the entire show, right? Is they made her the same age and had this friendship growing up with Rhaenyra. So that would have strengthened the argument for me. But I feel like as I've watched the show, it almost does feel like it's Aegon and Rhaenyra's war.
All right, Phil, what do you think?
I think the show itself and what we're seeing is closer to kind of what Alicia was saying, where it's just everyone versus everyone. Everyone has a hate, but the narrative, like in the NBA Finals, it's it's Tatum versus Luka, but it's not really that. It's the whole team versus the whole team. And I think the people on the posters of the show that's selling the show from a PR advertising standpoint, it's Rhaenyra versus Alicent. They're like Rocky versus Apollo in each corner, getting ready to fight on the poster. It's them fighting, but I think in reality, it's a lot more complicated than that. It's a lot more detailed than that, and there's so many individual crossovers. And a lot of what plays on the show is Aegon and Rhaenyra being the prime focus on either side in some ways. But I think the poster, the main event that's bringing people to the fight is Rhaenyra and Alicent from a PR standpoint, I would guess.
Wait, Tone, did you say Otto versus Damon, or was that?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't give my answer. I think that the war.
It was Alice. Yes.
Yeah, I think the war is 100%. I don't think really it's a question of who the war is between. It's between Alicent and Rhaenyra. They showed them from season 1 as kids, grow up as friends. Yeah. And this is what it is now. Their kids, she's fighting her kids. She got her kids now. She got her grown-up kids. Aegon is just a puppet being put there by his mother because she can't sit her own ass on the Iron Throne. Or she would be doing it, right? So that's her reason. That's her puppet to put it there. But the actual war is between two girls who grew up as friends, and now they're having this war for the Iron Throne. That's who the war is about. It's about those.
I'm kind of going to weigh in a bit and disagree with Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm gonna have to disagree with a little bit of what you said. I agree with the majority of it. However, like I don't think like Otto really in my mind, Otto really started this with an assist from Viserys just not handling things the way that he should have. But
You
he
just blame
groomed
Viserys for
Alicent
this
that
whole-
entire time. Yeah. Like he really groomed Alicent for this entire fucking time. And then he put it in her head like your kids are gonna die. Like the only option is forward, putting them on the throne. Otherwise they're gonna die. So then she started perpetuating that after she realized that she couldn't trust Rhaenyra. And hypocrisy down the road aside, like I think her turn on Rhaenyra was this realization she couldn't trust Rhaenyra the way that she thought she could. And then for her, she's like, well, I need to do what I need to do for my kids. So she perpetuated that lie, put it in her kids, this, that, and the third. So I don't know if it really like, yes, in some ways, I think that Alicent does desire a world in which she feels comfortable wielding power as a woman. But at the same time, like, I don't think that she's using her kids as prop as much as like she was groomed and brainwashed to have this mentality. Like, if it's not my son sitting the throne.
That's not what I meant saying that she wished herself to be doing it. She's a Cersei Lannister. I don't mean she's that. Like Cersei wants to rule through Josh. She wants the throne herself. We see her eventually take the throne. I don't mean that. That's not what I'm saying. So if it came out that way, I'm saying from the beginning of the show, what we've seen, that's why they showed these people as young children, were two girls who were friends. And now, and one who's going to be queen, and her friend who then she married a father and had a son, and now did Otto put it in her head that Rhaenyra would have her kids killed if this happened? He did. Would Rhaenyra do that? I don't think so, but I wouldn't put it past Damon. You know what I mean? So I think that Otto did have some validity to that situation and everything else, right? So, but in the end, the war itself is between these two friends. Everyone else, when you look at Jace, Damon, all these other people, those are Rhaenyra's pawns. Alicent, her king, Kristen Cole, Otto Hightower, they're all Alicent's pawns. It's really between these two girls, these two friends who grew up, and now they're having this war over the Iron Throne and everything else. Alicent not to sit it, but her son to sit it, but it's about their friendship. I think that's what they were trying to show when they had the series, and that's the reason why they showed them together, hanging out and everything when they were young, all the things to do and how everything just went awry.
Yeah. Anything else, caller?
Thank you. Thanks.
No worries.
That was satisfying.
Great call. Thank you.
Thank you, Nettles. Everybody go subscribe to Girl Nettles channel. Out there, put it in the chat for our people out there and everything. Subscribe to Girl Nettles.
Yeah, I kept Nettles on the line that whole time, so I'm sorry, Nettles. I could have hung up at some point, but I kept Nettles on.
Well, she may have had a comment and everything else. So yeah, you know, I mean, everyone has the right, but to me, that's what they're trying to show. That's those two people. This is their war. In the end, it affects their families and everything, and how they react towards this whole thing happening and everything. What up to my girl Anna, Red Lipstick Club podcast up in this piece, and the co-host of After Dark, which we haven't done in a very long time.
I was gonna say, do you still do that these days?
I just haven't had the time. Haven't done it.
Tony doesn't want to lose subscribers every time.
I'll do it. I'll do it just for the people who are.
Oh, you know, get another call.
Just for different type of subscriber.
This is area code
members. That's what they call it, members. God damn it.
Area code 757. Welcome to the show.
What's up, Phil?
Oh,
what's up, Brent?
How's it going, Kelly?
What's good, Pete?
What's going on? What's going on, brother?
I see you with that Alamander name there, Bridge. You're going to get the Alamander rake sword. You're going to keep up with these hot takes. but when I said that
hater,
the only book characters are going to get the Cargo Brothers, I mean, they're not really big characters on the show. I mean, they're just some guys that kind of popped up in a small amount of few episodes, and then they fight and kill each other, and people are probably that don't read the books are probably like what was that all about? Because they don't know who they are. So that's why I made that statement. Because no one, it's not like with Ned Stark where like 6 episodes, you get to know the man, his family, and all that. With those guys, they just kind of popped up, and were on the sidelines, and then all of a sudden you were fighting each other, and they're dead. So, I mean, we understand from the book standpoint why it's kind of a big deal, but like this, the casual person watching Hot D, they're not really going. They're going to be like, okay, some guys, 2 brothers, killed each other. I really didn't know who they were. So that was my point with that. But that was all the point I was trying to make. I did think episode 2 was a vast improvement over like pretty much all the series. I'm still not taking with the series, but I will admit episode 2 was better than any episode of season 1 and the first episode of season 2. So,
what was that?
Sorry. I hit something by accident.
What did it say? What the hell was that?
I thought he did it. I thought that was a slap. I thought that was a sign off or something. I was like, okay, he fancy.
Sorry, Kelly. Sorry.
He fancy with that sign.
I accidentally tapped on the dick on button. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's cool, Phil. You always have issues, we know.
Yep, sorry.
But,
I had issues. My finger had issues.
But you with them hot takes, Bridge. You gonna turn this to the world of Amazon. I'm gonna have to quick bend you, boy. So you better stay in your mood, Bridge. But you know you cool, Bridge, and the whole crew. You guys rocking like you were a couple years ago. Glad to see it. I don't know what the episode tonight is gonna turn out to be, but I guess we'll see. So have a good night, guys.
Thank you, Kelly.
Enjoy, brother.
Appreciate the call. 100% appreciate the call. I was gonna say something I forgot about. What there's something we didn't talk about, and I wanted to talk about it. I had it in my head, and Kelly messed it up.
I might have dick on you. I was probably the dick on the drill.
Could have been no Diddy though.
Yeah, I did dick on you, no Diddy. Area code 404. Welcome back, 404. 404.
Hey, you guys! It's Marcus again. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
My phone didn't tell me that I was on or not. But I wanted to go back really, really quickly to Girl Nettles' question about who is this. I think that was her question, right?
Yep.
Who is this war really between, right?
Yes.
Okay. So my thing, and this is just my opinion, I believe that this war is a lot bigger than Rhaenyra and Alicent. And the reason why I say that is because I think that the real war here is about the future of House Targaryen versus the Citadel. And the reason why I think that
nerd alert. Did you hear it? Sorry.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Bridge.
No, I'm saying that was awesome. I dig it.
No, it's awesome. That's funny.
The reason why I think that is because we know that the Maesters are very much against House Targaryen from the very beginning. You know, they have never liked them. And I think that there is evidence to suggest that this was all a plan to use House Hightower to undermine the Targaryen regime. And we're seeing that play out. And I think that Otto realized that the best time to enact this plan was when Rhaenyra was the only child of the Viserys. You know, he said this is the best time because the realm will never accept her. And so I think that Otto is being used by the Citadel to undermine House Targaryen, and Rhaenyra is the only person because, again, she knows the prophecy. She is the only person that was entrusted to continue that reason why House Targaryen is so important. And so to me, it's a lot bigger than Alicent and Rhaenyra, and that's why I also think that Rhaenyra is still holding back from unleashing all her dragons because in her mind, she's saying, okay, if we bring all of these dragons to war, everything will burn and nobody will be here to defend the world against the cold and the dark like Viserys wanted her to do. So if Rhaenyra unleashes everything, it literally will end the entire family, and she knows that. That is why Rhaenyra does not want to do this. And so, and the reason why she doesn't is because it's much bigger than her. And that's why I think that this war is much bigger than Otto, Alicent, Viserys, Rhaenyra, Damon, and everything. Because if we all go to war, nothing will be left in her mind, And so, that's all I wanted to say about that.
Good
to me,
stuff.
it's just much bigger than any one character, because it's about the future of the realm and how House Targaryen is the guardian of the fire that is needed to defeat the Nightwalkers. It's called a Song of Ice and Fire, people, and Targaryens bring that fire. But if there's no Targaryens left, how are they going to bring the fire? You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's all I'm saying. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks again for. I can see what you're saying, and I would never say that you're wrong. I think it could be a bigger plan in the background, but for the show and for the people that are watching the show, that they're not explaining that whole thing to. Maybe the book readers catch on to that, but for this show and this show purpose, and that's what we're going by. It's a war between these two girlfriends who are now grown ups with families of their own, fighting over the Iron Throne. That's what it's
These
about.
sisters that have ended up on the opposite side of this Iron Throne and everything that goes in and out of that. It's towards the end, so I just want to talk about something silly. Do people in the chat notice the AI chat summary thing that they put in the top of the chat now?
I didn't know. I didn't.
Yeah,
I can't see it on stream here.
I just noticed it today. It's basically like just says what's going on in the chat. It's like people are laughing and discussing the new episode of House of the Dragon.
Where are you seeing this?
It's like
That's
if
so
you
funny.
refresh the chat, it pops up on the top. It says AI summary of the chat. Let me get exactly
wild.
what it says in a second here, but it says
We
something.
live in a weird world, man.
Yeah, it says earlier it said people are reacting to the caller's analysis of House of the Dragon. Many agree with the caller's assessment that the show has taken significant liberties with the source material and the maesters are biased against Rhaenyra. That's the AI response to the chat room from what we were just discussing.
Fucking AI is everywhere.
Can't
Can't get away.
weird.
This is the one thing I will complain about.
Wait. Quick question.
Yes, of
Bridge,
course.
is that a Lindsay Sterling shirt you have?
Oh,
great.
yeah, of course.
Amazing performance.
Look at her.
She's the best.
All right. The one thing I would say I wish they did something better when it came to a little bit of casting is that, like, the reason why I like The Witcher, which is not a great show, but the reason why I liked it is because Henry Cavill actually looked like he can handle a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Like he looked like he could really cut the head off of a dragon.
He's one of the best, probably, right?
Yeah, these guys in this show, whether it was Grey Worm, who was supposed to be this ultra great fighter, arms as small as my fingers, and you got this Aemon is now this great fighter with his skinny ass chicken ass legs.
Weird
over there, look like a corpse. That dude. Now he's this huge great fighter. Can we have some people in here that actually look like they could fight? That actually look like they could hold it down? You know what I mean? That they could do something. You know what I mean? Like the guy who was who was the head of the Kingsguard with I forgot his name that left. He looked like he could whoop some ass.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Can we have some people who can actually?
Where is he, by the way? Is he in like?
Yeah, what happened to Sir Harold Westerling?
He just left. You know what I mean? He just left. You know, I just think when you're on a television show, yes, skinny people can fight. I'm not saying they can't. I was skinny. I was a good fighter when I was young. But I'm saying when you're looking at people, especially this time. You're supposed to be swinging this. Oh, if you're skinny, you ain't holding no fucking spear, swinging it around that whole time of war, and all of a sudden your arms would just blow up just from that, man.
Not like a big broadsword like that.
Can we have some people in here who could actually physically look like they can actually do what they're supposed to, what they claim?
Tony, I've done a little fencing, and that's tiring, and that thing's light as hell.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Real quick, we'll go into. We gotta get out of here soon. So, all right, they did show Hugh Hammer and his family. How did you like the scene? You like the background story on Hugh Hammer? Bridge?
Yeah, so rest in peace to Harwin. He looked like he could hold his own. And Hugh the Hammer, man. See, one of the reasons like I mentioned something like Shepard, and there's all these characters we're going to meet in the future of the show that I'm hoping they're going to be endearing characters, because Hugh the Hammer is not how I envisioned him when I read the books, and I'm digging it.
All right, Alicia, what do you have to say about Hugh Hammer? His family? Sick child?
I'm definitely in the camp of like I guess my vision of Hugh Hammer was always just like this bumbling idiot, like just a dumb brute in general. So to see him as this like family man that has this whole background to why he might do what he does, I like it. Like and here's the thing, like in the books, it's written from a historic point of view from like 3 different people. You have a Septon, a Maester, and freaking Mushroom. So I mean, like I like Ryan Condal's doing his own thing and giving everybody depth. I know a lot of people are a little fatigued of that. Like, we don't need a background for everybody. Bitch, I do. And I'm here for it.
I'm with you on that, Phil.
I like how they're introducing these new characters and how they're sort of bringing them in and making it obvious to the people that don't know what's about to happen with them that they're important for some reason. I'm enjoying the way that they brought it in. They didn't make a big deal about it. It's just, we're following another character and we're in their world for a second. And it's an interesting, different perspective in this world of Westeros that we haven't had when we're not necessarily following specific families or something, seeing from these outside perspectives. So I do like that. And it kind of opens up the world a little bit for me. So I thought that's been done pretty well.
Yeah. Hugh Hammer is like one of my favorite characters in this whole house. And so I'm glad to see some background on them. I think I may just be partial to people who fight with the hammer back then because I like that weapon.
So awesome.
I like the weapon itself.
It's good enough for me, man. I take it.
I think the war hammer is like
good
the
enough
weapon
for Robert.
I would fight with. If I was back then, I'd be with a war hammer. So anyone who's rocking the hammer, I'm with you on that. That's the weapon.
Mine would be a spear. If I see someone with a spear, I'm like, yeah, I'm on his team.
I'd have to be a water dancer with my physique. I'd have to go a different route. I'd have to go speed.
The warhammer is the most effective weapon in versus chainmail and plate armor. You want to have that hammer to smash that in. That's what you got to have that hammer.
Boom.
That's what. So that would be probably the reason why I like it so much and all that.
That's so funny.
Just for that reason alone.
I can understand.
But I do like, it's gonna be weird because Alicia's right. They did make him seem in the books, this a drunk. He says what he says. I'm not gonna say or go into it, but who with these aspirations that seem to come out of nowhere. So maybe now we can see, he's gonna be seeing it, him eating dinner and stuff like that. They showed that, you know what I mean? Maybe you could see him on the come up, you know what I mean? How he was so poor, and then all of a sudden you'd be fascinated to be sitting with the people he's gonna be sitting with, eating at their table and stuff. You could see how that could, just make him feel good about himself, and then gas himself to this point where he becomes what he becomes later on in the show. You could see why he would start smelling himself after that and everything. You know what I mean? So I like that they show him where he started from and how his mediocre rise to the top of wherever he's going to go for the rest of this series and stuff.
Nice.
And all that. I think we have covered it.
Yeah.
I think we went there. Anything we missed?
I'm trying to think. Oh, I guess we didn't talk so much about the White Worm. I thought that was going to play out a little bit differently in the sense that how the brothers were going to get caught is she recognized that the other brother was inside and she would run in and tell. And I don't know if that did happen or if she ran and told, and that's why Eric ran in and said, "Your hair," and I knew your hair. But they did make it a point to show the White Worm, and I have to say the actress's performance this season is so much better than last season. Whoever worked with her if it was her decision, I've heard her talk like dropping the act. It works so much better this season, and I liked all the scenes with her in this particular episode. Her and Rhaenyra have excellent chemistry. I thought they worked well.
Alicia, White Worm. How'd you feel about that take?
I really wanted to know how the show would kind of interpret, because in the book she really ingratiated with Rhaenyra. It's almost presented as this sort of like Rasputin and Tsarina Alexandra, was that her name? The Romanovs. Anyway, like it was kind of like it made it look like the White Worm was just this evil woman whispering in a paranoid Rhaenyra's ear. So I like that they're building this, like, my eloquence is going. Y'all know what I mean.
No, yeah, they're building a relationship.
I do kind of wonder. Yes, relationship building. Thank you. I do want to know what happened to the White Worm's neck. So I think we're going to get, I think her and Rhaenyra are really going to build a relationship of trust. I just hope that it doesn't go the direction that it's insinuated in the books where, you know, Miss Arya really feeds off of Rhaenyra's grief and Perrin her own.
Well, they both were sleeping with the same man. Bridge, how did you feel about the White Worm?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my biggest takeaway from the White Worm scene is like, it's just one more reason why I love Rhaenyra. I do. I'm in love with Rhaenyra. Like, I'm not on Team Black. I'm Team Small Folk, but I don't know. I'm kind of Team Black. I love Rhaenyra. Like, Damon made an oath. He said she'd be free. Rhaenyra's like, all right, I got to honor my oath. But she did the right thing. I guess it was after she had mentioned a scar. I couldn't see any scar. I'm like, I have bad eyes. I'm like, where's the freaking scar? I found out in comment section it was around the neck. So it was a slave collar. So obviously being a prisoner, a slave, yada, yada. Yeah. My biggest takeaway is that, God, I love Rhaenyra.
Yeah, I think that the whoever told her, you know, it's a Peter Baelish situation, right? The actor dropped the Peter Baelish accent after a while. They talked.
Oh, really?
He toned it down. Yeah, he didn't. If you look at the first scene when you seen that guy come in and heard him talk, he toned it down.
I'm gonna have to check that out. It's funny.
It sounded crazy. And he said, and they did the same thing with her.
And he had the hair dye.
Right. Yeah, which is right. You know what I mean? I think so. I'm interested in seeing what goes on with it. They have a lot in common. They both wrote Damon's White Worm, so you know they should be good friends when it's all said and done.
Just raw chicken. I mean? That's just
frozen chicken. But they both had that time, so I would think that they'd be all right there and everything else. Maybe they can get it on. I'd like to see it. Put it on the show.
Oh, jeez.
I like to see it. I would like to see it. I would.
Scandalizing Bridge over here. You know he's innocent.
Yeah, we're just too innocent for
I wouldn't say no.
No, I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would. It said Milk Sisters, Big E.
Get the fuck out.
I agree. All right, as Jackie C put in there, Phil's after show. That's the link. Go join Phil the Issues guys after show right after this episode airs. Go check that out. We also got the Direwolf City podcast going on after the show too. So
bounce back and forth.
Show them both some love. Bounce back and forth and everything. Call Phil up. Let them know what you thought of the episode. Immediate reactions, and then go over to Direwolf City and check those girls out over there too. You know, check out the family and everything. Support people. Don't steal people's video ideas.
Oh no.
Oh, ice and fire, ice and fire.
Yeah. We'll deal
Jeremy
with
smoking crack.
We'll deal with these people.
I'm a Pearl Jam fan.
We'll deal with these people soon enough when it's all said and done. All right, thank y'all for showing up and everything else. We appreciate and everything. Great, Phil. Let's cross stream.
Yeah. Absolutely, we'll definitely figure that out at some point, Gray. Absolutely,
yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Bridge 4, you gotta when you're getting your next video out when it's. Tomorrow?
No, I'm too busy playing chess right now. I'm addicted, man.
All right. You know, I've been watching this show. What is it? The Traitors?
Yeah, the Traitors.
Yeah, I've been watching. I've binge watched this 2 seasons. I love this show.
Dude, okay, we got to talk about the new season that's coming out with it. The reality show you're talking about, the Traitors.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That was the one I was telling you about. Like, I want you and me to go on that show.
We can win it.
Dude, we can kill that show.
We can. I said it. I said,
who do you want to be? Do you want to be a faithful? Do you want to be a faithful or a murderer? I
gotta murder people.
Yeah, we gotta murder people.
No, I gotta have it in.
Yeah, the new season's coming out. Season 3 has like a bunch of Survivor people on it. Like we gotta recap it like every week. Talk about.
We could definitely do. I could definitely win this fucking show.
Dude, I'm so glad you like the Traitors. It's awesome. Awesome, right?
Yeah, we could definitely talk about. All right, people, if you like the way we do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Let me hit this first. There we go. Peace.